Okay, so when was the last time you really truly paused to think about just walking?
Mm.
Not, hitting a step goal or doing a workout, but just the actual act of putting one foot in front of the other.
Right, it's so automatic, isn't it? We barely notice we're doing it half the time.
Exactly. But what if I told you that this super basic movement actually holds some pretty profound secrets about your health, your vitality, maybe even how long you'll live?
It sounds almost too simple, but yeah, that everyday act of walking, it's like this incredible window into how your body's really doing deep down.
A window. I like that.
Yeah, it's way more than just muscles or lungs working in isolation. It kind of reflects the whole system working together, your overall capacity, your resilience, even your independence.
Precisely. So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to pull back the curtain on this tool that sounds almost laughably simple, but is actually incredibly powerful.
6-minute walk test, or 6MWT.
Yep, the 6MWT. We'll dig into what it is, why doctors and therapists, rely on it for some surprisingly deep insights.
And how you can actually try it yourself pretty easily.
Right. And naturally, we've found some really fascinating and maybe even a couple of funny stories behind it all.
Always good to have the backstory.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning.
Yeah.
The mechanics. What exactly is this 6-minute walk test?
Well, the name pretty much gives it away, doesn't it? It's refreshingly direct.
Got it.
You just walk back and forth on a flat, clear path for exactly 6 minutes straight.
Continuously.
Continuously, yeah. At the end of the 6 minutes, you stop and you measure the total distance you managed to cover.
And that's it.
Yeah.
No fancy gadgets, no treadmills with wires everywhere.
Nope. That's the beauty of it. No complex sensors, no intimidating lab gear. It's incredibly accessible.
So you could do it in a hallway or...
A hallway, a quiet sidewalk, maybe a running track in a local school, anywhere you've got a reasonably long, flat stretch.
It's kind of a testament to simple ideas being powerful, isn't it?
It really is. And that simplicity, that's a huge part of why it's so valued by, well, everyone, from doctors to physical therapists to fitness pros around the world.
Okay, so why do they value it so much? What makes it different from, say, a blood pressure reading or a lung capacity test?
That's a really crucial point. See, lots of tests give you specific kind of isolated numbers, right? Blood pressure, lung volume, maybe how strong one particular muscle is. But the 6MWT, it gives you this uniquely holistic picture. It moves beyond those individual bits and pieces to show your functional capacity.
Functional capacity.
Meaning what your body can actually do when everything has to work together, like in real life.
Ah, okay. Integrated performance.
Exactly. It's testing your whole oxygen delivery system, how well your lungs grab oxygen, how well your heart pumps it around, how efficiently your muscles actually use it, all working in concert.
So it's not just one system, it's the whole chain.
The whole chain, yeah. Yeah. From lungs to blood vessels to the tiny mitochondria inside your cells. That integrated efficiency, that's what really links up with not just fitness, but like a deeper level of health and resilience.
It's pretty amazing that just walking can reveal all that. So
Yeah.
we get what it is. But here's where it gets really fascinating for me. What secrets does walking that distance actually unlock? It's clearly more than just how fast you can walk down a grocery aisle.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of compelling how much deep information you can get from such a straightforward measurement. It tells us a lot about our fundamental health, even our life trajectory.
Trajectory, wow.
So first off, people who can cover more ground in those 6 minutes, they consistently show better heart and lung health, better cardiovascular and respiratory function.
Okay, that makes sense. A stronger engine.
A stronger, more efficient engine, exactly. It shows how well your heart pumps and your lungs exchange gas, not just when you're sitting still, but under, sustained effort.
So it's like a real-world check on your body's systems, almost like comparing your biological age to your actual age.
That's a great way to think about it, yeah. But what if someone's thinking, look, I feel fine, no symptoms, why bother checking my engine? Is it still relevant then?
Good question.
Absolutely. It's like a barometer for your overall systemic resilience, how well your body adapts under a bit of stress. And it goes beyond just the heart and lungs.
Okay.
A longer walking distance is also directly linked to a much lower risk of falls and frailty, especially important as we get older, right?
Certainly.
It suggests better balance, stronger leg muscles, better coordination, all stuff you need to stay independent and avoid injuries.
Right.
But maybe the most powerful and honestly kind of surprising thing is its predictive power. Researchers actually use these distances to estimate, well, not just your current health, but your long-term life expectancy.
Theoretically, life expectancy from a 6-minute walk.
and your quality of life down the road.
Yeah.
This simple number can be incredibly predictive of how many healthy, active years you might have ahead.
That's extraordinary because you think about complex lab tests, VO2 max and all that.
Right, and those measure specific things. But the 6MWT is functional. It captures that real-world, integrated performance, heart, muscles, balance, even your brain coordinating it all.
The whole package working together.
Exactly, and it captures it with surprising accuracy, which is why you hear scientists often call walking speed and endurance the sixth vital sign.
The sixth vital sign, alongside things like blood pressure and pulse.
Yep, right up there with blood pressure, pulse, temperature, breathing rate, and pain level. That's how important they see it for assessing overall health. It really elevates walking, doesn't it?
It really does. Makes you think differently about just going for a walk. So, okay, this naturally leads to a very practical question. What does this mean for my numbers, or for anyone listening? What's considered a normal distance?
That's key, and it's really important to remember that normal isn't one single number. It varies quite a bit, naturally, based mostly on your age and your gender.
Okay, so there are ranges.
Exactly, and these ranges aren't just random targets somebody picked. They come from studies of thousands and thousands of people. They're like population health benchmarks.
Benchmarks that mean something in the real world.
Right. They connect to independence, quality of life, even longevity. It's not about needing to be some elite athlete, but just understanding where you fit within these established ranges for people like you.
Okay, so can we get into some specifics? What do the numbers look like?
Sure. Let's look at some typical ranges from the research. For younger adults, say 20 to 29 years old, men are generally somewhere between 660 and 730 meters.
Okay, and women.
Women in that age group, typically 590 to 660 meters.
All right. And what about as we get a bit older? Midlife.
So for adults age 40 to 49, you see a slight shift. Men usually average between 600 and 690 meters, and women generally around 550 to 620 meters.
So yeah, you see a gradual kind of natural decrease, which makes sense. The body changes.
It does. It underlines how dynamic things are. But the real power here isn't just seeing the trend, it's figuring out how your own number fits into that picture.
Right, making it personal.
Exactly. That's when it becomes actionable. So for seniors, maybe 60 to 69, men often walk between 570 and 640 meters.
And women.
Women, typically 500 to 570 meters.
Okay. And then for older seniors, say 80 plus.
Yeah, for the 80-plus group, the ranges are naturally lower. Around 400 to 500 meters for men and maybe 350 to 450 meters for women.
Got it. So when we look at these numbers, it's not about hitting one specific point.
Not at all. It's about understanding your position within these benchmarks. If you're consistently walking above the average for your age and gender, that's fantastic. It suggests you've got a good physiological reserve.
Reserve. Like a health savings account.
Kind of, yeah, like more buffer against illness, maybe quicker recovery, a stronger base for staying independent longer.
And if your numbers are below the range?
Well, it's not a judgment, right? It's just a really useful signal. An invitation maybe to be proactive. Perhaps focus on walking more regularly, maybe add some strength training, or even chat with your doctor about it.
Okay. And you mentioned meters.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's hard to visualize.
Right. Good point. A helpful tip. 100 meters is roughly the length of an American football field, including the end zones.
Ah, okay. That makes it much easier to picture walking, say, 6 football fields back and forth.
Exactly. It helps ground those numbers.
And it really hammers home that it's about functional health, that reserve, not just being a track star. Okay, so this leads us perfectly into the next bit. For anyone listening who's now thinking, okay, I want to know my number, how can you actually do this 6-minute walk test yourself at home?
It's actually surprisingly easy to set up and very empowering to do. Here's the basic process.
Okay, walk us through it.
First, find a suitable spot. You need a flat, safe surface where you can walk back and forth without obstacles. Ideally, a straight path about 30 meters long, that's around 100 feet.
What if you don't have quite that much space?
A slightly shorter path works, but you'll be turning more often, which can slow you down a tiny bit. So try to get as long a stretch as you safely can.
Got it. Flat, safe, ideally around 30 meters. What next?
Next, grab a timer, your phone, a watch, anything that counts down 6 minutes accurately and lets you know when time's up.
Okay, timer set for 6 minutes.
Then you just start walking back and forth along your path at your fastest, comfortable pace.
The comfortable being the key word, not an all-out sprint.
Exactly. This isn't about exhausting yourself in minute one. It's about a sustained, brisk effort for the full 6 minutes. You should feel like you're working, but not pushing into discomfort or, danger.
Right. Brisk, sustained pace for 6 minutes, and when the timer goes off.
Stop immediately. Mark the exact spot you reached. Then, measure the total distance you covered.
How do you measure?
A measuring tape is great for accuracy, or if you have a reliable fitness tracker or even a phone app that tracks walking distance accurately, that could work too. Just make sure it's reasonably precise.
Okay, seems doable. Find a path, set timer, walk briskly, measure distance.
Pretty much, but the real value, the long-term insight, comes from tracking it.
So not just a one-off thing.
Right. Write down your distance, the date, maybe a quick note on how you felt, then do it again in a month or maybe every couple of months. It's about seeing the trends in your own vitality over time.
And what kind of improvement is good? Do you need to add hundreds of meters?
Not at all, and this is really encouraging. In medical studies, an improvement of just 30 to 50 meters between tests is considered meaningful progress.
Only 30 to 50 meters. That's like half a football field length or less.
Exactly. It shows you don't need massive leaps to see real, measurable health benefits and probably feel a difference in your energy, too. Small, consistent gains matter.
That is motivating. Knowing that even small improvements are medically significant makes it feel way more achievable. Okay, I love this next part. Let's dive into some of the surprising facts, the backstory, the human element behind this test.
Yeah, because like any really useful tool, the 6MOVUT didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's got a history, some quirks.
Let's peel back that layer. Where did it even come from?
Well, interestingly, it wasn't originally meant for general fitness at all.
No.
No, it was actually developed back in the late 1960s, primarily for people with severe lung diseases like COPD.
Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
Right. Doctors needed a simple, practical way to see how the disease was affecting their patients' everyday ability to function their endurance, basically.
So it started in a very specific clinical setting.
It did. But because it was so simple, so cheap, and actually really accurate at reflecting functional status, it took off. It spread beyond lung disease and became this universal marker for health and fitness used all over the world for all sorts of conditions and even just for general wellness checks.
That's pretty cool. From a specific clinical need to a global benchmark.
And it's used for some pretty high-stakes decisions now, too.
Like what?
Well, get this. Some hospitals actually use the 6MWT result to help decide if a patient is strong enough for major surgery.
Wait, really? Your walking distance could affect whether you get an operation.
It can literally be a factor. A certain minimum distance might suggest you have enough heart and lung reserve, enough overall resilience to handle the stress of surgery and recover well afterwards.
Wow. That gives the test a whole different level of significance.
It really speaks to its predictive power, doesn't it? And on that note, research has actually shown that your 6-minute walk distance predicts long-term survival almost as well as some really complex, expensive lab tests.
Like VO2 max tests or cardiac stress tests.
Exactly. Things that require special equipment and personnel. The simple walk test holds its own against them in terms of predicting long-term outcomes.
Incredible. It's just a powerful reminder, isn't it? Sometimes the simplest things are the most profound.
Absolutely. The evidence is pretty clear. Walk farther, tend to live longer and healthier.
Okay, so those are some serious points. What about the slightly funnier or more crinky side of the story, the human moments?
Oh, yeah. There are definitely a couple of good ones that show the, let's say, practical realities of research.
Lay 'em on us.
Okay, imagine those early researchers. They need to run these tests, but maybe they're stuck in a small clinic or even someone's home without a nice long hallway.
Right. No perfect 30-meter track available.
Exactly. So there are actual reports of participants doing the 6-minute walk test by walking in circles around their coffee table.
No way. Around the coffee table.
Yep. You can just picture it, right? Carefully navigating the furniture, trying not to bump into things, maybe dodging the cat, all while trying to keep a brisk pace for 6 minutes.
That is fantastic. Talk about adaptability. And maybe a slightly dizzying research subject.
It certainly paints a picture, a testament to ingenuity, or maybe just making do.
Definitely making do. Any other gems?
Well, even the 6-minute duration itself isn't some magical, scientifically optimized number.
It's not.
Yeah.
I assumed it was precisely calculated.
Turns out, it was basically a compromise. Early scientists actually argued quite a bit about the ideal length for the test. Some wanted shorter, some wanted longer.
A scientific debate over timing.
You got it. Eventually, after discussions and, probably some committee meetings,
Ah, the committee meeting solution.
it settled on 6 minutes. It was seen as practical long enough to test endurance and reveal limitations, but not so long it became overly tiring or boring for most people.
Committee-approved walking time. That's brilliant. It really shows the human side behind the science.
Absolutely. Even standard medical tests have these human stories woven into them.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, it feels like the big takeaway is this. The 6-minute walk test. It's way more than just counting steps or meters.
So much more. It's like holding up a mirror to your vitality, isn't it?
Yeah, a mirror reflecting your heart health, your muscle endurance, your balance, even your potential for a longer, healthier life. It's accessible, it's powerful, it puts some real self-awareness in your hands.
And it really drives home that fundamental truth, doesn't it? The one we sometimes forget when we look for complicated fixes. Motion is medicine.
Simple, powerful truth.
And the beauty of this test is that it lets you track that medicine working. It shows that just simple, consistent effort, literally putting one foot in front of the other, can lead to really profound benefits. You get a tangible number reflecting your progress.
Which leads to maybe the most important question for everyone listening.
Right. Now that you have this insight, what small, consistent steps, and I mean that literally, can you take starting today towards a longer, more vital future?
It's a great question to ponder. Because maybe, just maybe, the best prescription we have for health and longevity isn't always the most complex one. Sometimes it really is just about putting one foot in front of the other, consistently and consciously.
We hope you consider trying the test. Maybe reflect on what that simple number might reveal about your own health journey.
And perhaps let it inspire you to just keep